Hello and welcome to Saurav Sir's classes. Today we are discussing the solutions to the ISI MSQE PSC paper, and this is the first question. So here it says that a number is chosen at random from the first 1 billion natural numbers, and the probability that the product of the number with its two immediate successors is divisible by 24 is closest to. Now first let us understand the logic here. So now if I take numbers from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and I choose any one number at random. So basically I can choose numbers from 1 to 10, and the product of the number with its two immediate successors should be divisible by 24. That means what are the numbers that would be divisible by 24? Triplets that would be divisible by 24. Now to understand that, we have to understand what kind of numbers we can choose. So we can either choose 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 4 or 3, 4, 5. So I mean, depending on our choice, the numbers will fall in any of these brackets. So that means if I take the first example 1, 2, 3, that means odd, even, odd, and in the second example 2, 3, 4, I have even, odd, even. This can be the only two types of combinations. 3, 4, 5 will again become odd, even, odd. So it has to be either odd, even, odd, or even, odd, odd, even, odd, even. So if it is of the second category, then this is of the form even means 2n, odd means 2n plus 1, and again even means 2n plus 2. So that means if I take the product of these three, I will get 2 into n into n plus 1 from here into 2n plus 1. Now that means this is 2 into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1. So 1, 2 comes from here, 1, 2 comes from here. So this is 4 into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1. Now n and n plus 1 are two consecutive numbers. So if one is odd, the other has to be even, and vice versa. So that means this product should be divisible by 2. So that means the entire product should be divisible by 2, and it should also be divisible by 3, because out of any three consecutive integers, one number should be divisible by 3. So this is divisible by 3, this is divisible by 4 into 2. So this combination will be always divisible by 3 into 4 into 2, which is 24. So if I have this combination, this will be always divisible by 24. Now we come to the first combination, odd, even, odd. Now if this is the case, then the middle number, now this combination will be always divisible by 3, because it's the product of three consecutive integers, and in order to be divisible by 24, the middle number has to be divisible by 8. So which means that if I have a combination 7, 8, 9, this would be divisible by 24. So that means for this combination, I have to find all the cases where the middle number is divisible by 8. So now out of the total number of combinations that we can generate, there would be exactly half of them which would be odd, even, odd, and half of them which will be even, odd, even. So that means this, if the total number of combination is, in this case, is 10C1, that means 10, then there would be 5 combinations of this category, 5 combinations of this category. So that means the probability in that case would be 5 plus 1, which is the only case 7, 8, 9, by 10. That means 5 by 10 plus 1 by 10. Now this 1 by 10 comes because there is only one number 8 which is divisible by 8 in the set of numbers 1 to 10. So similarly, if I now look at 1 billion natural numbers, that means I will have exactly half of them which will follow this rule, even, odd, even, and that will always be divisible by 24. And from the other half, I need to find the number of integers which are divisible by 8. So from 1 to 1 billion, which is 1 million, and then 1 billion, how many numbers will be divisible by 8? So you divide 1 billion by 8. You divide 1 billion by 8, you get 1, 2, 5 and then 6 zeros. So these many numbers will be divisible by 8. So that means this plus 1, 2, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 divided by the total number of numbers that I can select out of this. So I can select a total of 1 billion numbers, any one of the 1 billion numbers. So that means this becomes 1 upon 8. So that means that the probability of the number being divisible by 24 will be 1 by 2 plus 1 by 8, which is 5 by 8. Actually the number will be closest to 5 by 8. We come to question number 2, where we are given that the nth partial sum of the series n equal to 2 to infinity an is given by Sn equal to 2n square plus 2 by 3n square plus 1. That means when n tends to infinity, Sn will be equal to limit n tending to infinity 2n square plus 2 by 3n square plus 1. Now if I divide numerator and denominator by n square, I get this as limit n tending to infinity 2 plus 2 by n square by 3 plus 1 by n square. And then when n goes to infinity, these two terms goes to 0. So that means this becomes 0, this becomes 0. So this becomes equal to 2 by 3. So that means the limit of this sum as n tends to infinity is equal to 2 by 3. Therefore, this series is a convergent series, and therefore, regardless of the term a1, the series will converge to this value of 2 by 3. So that means the sum of the series n equal to 1 to n equal to infinity an should be equal to 2 by 3. We come to question number 3, where we are asked that each of the 4 entries of a 2 by 2 matrix is filled by independently choosing either 1 or minus 1 uniformly at random. What is the probability that the matrix is singular? Now for any matrix to be singular, the determinant of the matrix has to be equal to 0. So that means the determinant of the matrix that can be found with 1 or minus 1 has to be 0. Now we have two numbers 1 and minus 1, and it should be a 2 by 2 matrix. So that means there are 4 choices. So that means we can either choose 1 or minus 1 for any of them. Now one case is where now the total number of choices would be, I can fill any place in 2 ways, either 1 or minus 1. That means I have to fill 4 places. So the total number of choices is 2 to the power 4, which is 16. And now we can see that if I fill all the places with 1, this would be a singular matrix because the determinant will be 0. And similarly, if I fill all places with minus 1, then also the determinant will be 0 and it would be a singular matrix. But if I have 3 1s and 1 minus 1, no matter wherever I place that minus 1, it will never be a singular matrix because the determinant will never be equal to 0. Similarly, if I have 3 minus 1 and 1 1, then also I will not have the determinant equal to 0, so that will not be a singular matrix. So the other case is either all are plus 1 or minus 1, so there are two cases there, and I can also have 2 minus 1s and 2 plus 1s. So then this determinant will be 0. Now I can place the 2 minus 1s in any two places out of 4. That means I have to choose 2 places out of 4 to place the 2 minus 1s, and the rest 2 will be plus 1. So this is equal to 6 plus the two cases of minus 1 and plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So that makes it 6 plus 8, total of 8 cases divided by the total number of cases 16, which is equal to half.